Join your fellow starseeds, lightworkers, and experiencers at the 2024 Full Disclosure Now Conference, this July 15th to 18th. This conference will be a fun and positively life-changing experience for so many. In addition to 4 days and nights of presentations, there will be special event dinners, dancing, fun time on the beach, UFO night watch tours, film screenings, vendors, and more at the lovely Serrata Beach Resort on St. Pete Beach, Florida. Over 34 Montauk Project survivors, Secret Space Program whistleblowers, ET contactees, and psychic healers will be presenting in the name of the Full Disclosure Movement. The truth must be revealed if we're all to achieve our Star Trek future here and now. Get your event passes and book your stay now at fulldisclosuremovement.org.
You want to learn about CE5 and extraterrestrial contact? Download my new book, now on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Apple, and 14 other platforms. Book authored by Donald Ledesma. CE5, Frequencies of Contact.
Strand Podcast.
What's up, guys? This is Mike Beavers from The Theory, and you are listening to Alien Strand Podcast, the dopest UFO alien podcast out there. And if you want to find out about me, just go on YouTube and search UFOs over UFO or The Theory with Mike Beavers. Stay tuned, guys.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Alien Strand Podcast. I'm your host, Donald Ledesma, and welcome to today's show. Well, we had a live show here a little while, about 30 minutes ago on X and on Instagram, and I thought it was pretty important, right? So, you know, it's recorded, of course, and I brought out a lot of good points, things like that. I know there's videos that you can't see, but, you know, I'm bringing up a lot of good points on ufology, right? And I just thought that it's important for you guys to listen to that podcast as you're listening to right now on audio, because you're on Spreaker Live, right? And of course, you're going to catch us on iHeartRadio, Spotify, all those other good ones. But you can actually see the video on YouTube. You can watch us on X. You can watch us on Instagram. That's exactly where these things were taking place live, man. And go check that out. So there's going to be links to everything after this podcast is over on this podcast. I hope you guys are having an amazing day and enjoying your day today, keeping your eyes in the skies, of course, and just, you know, watching out for UFOs and everything out there. So I did get into a pretty good topic of discussion of UFO World, and it's going to be a pre-recorded podcast. So I'm going to go ahead and play it for you guys. So you guys won't hear me live, but you're going to be hearing me past live, right? Well, we're just talking that. We'll just say that, right? So anyway, don't forget to catch my new book, CE5 Frequencies of Contact. You heard it at the beginning of this podcast, and you will hear it at the very end of the podcast. So catch it there as well. And I hope you guys really enjoy the content that's coming out of Alien Strand Podcast. Put us up there on the list. We really appreciate it. Share, follow on Instagram, X, on YouTube, and on Patreon. Go to our Patreon page, man. We're posting a lot of stuff on that page. It's for free. You'll see links to it on all my links. Go there and click on our Patreon. Join for free. Can't beat it, man. All right, until further ado, let's go ahead and get this past podcast on now. Here we go. Hi, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Alien Strand Podcast, and welcome to this special episode here on, we are live on X and we are live on Instagram only. You know what? This is for you guys today. Today we're going to be talking about UFO World. Thank you guys for just kind of chiming in a little bit. I had a little bit of time on my hands, so I decided to just get this podcast out. You know, I've been working on a lot of stuff. I'm working on my new book now, and you know, it just takes a lot of time away from me. And then, of course, getting the new film. You just saw the preview to that was called The Middle Part 2. Okay, the Middle Part 1 is on YouTube or Tubi TV. Go check it out, and then that way you can catch up to the middle 2 there on Skylight One channel. You can see it there. It's we're still waiting on the Amazon Prime Video for them to release it on their platform, man. But thank you guys for watching today. You know, I have some announcements. Of course, we're going to be live on Patreon as well. Catch us on Patreon. You know, we're going to have merch there. Our past podcasts that we had before, UFO news, signals, astral meetings, and like with Miss Vivian Charbet. I don't know if you've heard of her. Go check that out on Patreon, and it's for free, man. So last week I put this podcast out that I quit, right? Which was, I really did not quit. I just quit some platforms. The only reason, because, you know, as ufology comes out and all these new people that are bringing out more disclosure every day, that you know, they're just kind of getting weeded out, man, or put to the side, or these platforms are kind of bringing their levels down to where you can't see them, right? That's exactly what was happening to me, right? And I mean, I would put hashtags, everything you can think, you know, SEOs, everything you can do for Google. Nobody has been seeing my stuff. And I was like, you know what? I've been throwing it out every day, right? So what is the issue? The issue is disclosure. That is the issue. That's why I put that out there for you guys. Go check that out. That's on Patreon as well. And I believe on our YouTube. So if you can, go to our YouTube page. Follow us on our YouTube. You'll see that insignia there right there on the left on our YouTube page. Subscribe, give us a like. We have a lot of free stuff. The Middle Part 1 is on there as well. Go check it out there. And we go check us out on Patreon. Sign up for free. It's free. Alien Strand Podcast. And I got off of Facebook, man. And I know Instagram. I know Instagram is part of Facebook. But, you know, I just needed to get more information out, you know, and I kept on getting flagged for everything, man. I'm like, come on, man. It's my music. I paid for it. I bought everything. But hey, it is what it is. We have to go forward. But make sure to follow us on there. Like I said, today's podcast, UFO World. I'm going to show you some pictures today, and I'm going to show you some videos, all right? So this is the stuff that just came out here recently, this week, as a matter of fact. I should have called it UAP News, but it's UFO World because, you know, right now, a lot of this stuff is happening only in a certain part of the world, which I think it's a major hotspot. And you're going to see why, right? I'm going to show you why here shortly, you know. Of course, catch my ebook. It's a small guidebook. Go check it out. It's on Amazon Kindle, or you can get it on Barnes & Noble. Go check it out. It's a guidebook to have in your pocket. You know, it shows you how to see E5. If you don't know how to do that, it will show you how to do that, all right? So pretty simple, real cheap. It's only like $3.99, man. Put it on your Kindle or download the Kindle app on your iPhones or whatever. If you got iPhone, download it. Go read that it's a short little book. It'll take you 2 hours to read it all, right? But if you like to see E5, it's a great book to do that, right? Give me some reviews if you like it. Has a lot of, you know, it's definitions, a lot of stuff that people need to know about CE5. It's in there, right? Of course, ASTP, follow us out there, because where there's no I in team, right? We all work together. It's ASTPUFO-.com if you want to report a UFO. We got people all over the world, man. All over the world actually involved in that, in Australia, in the United Kingdom. You know, we have people in Ireland, we have people in Africa, we have people everywhere, even in Mexico, right? Which we are going to bring up today, right? Because today is a day that we need to bring up what's happening out there, right? Like I said, you just saw the commercial to the Middle Part 2. Like I said, we have a tetralogy, right? So we had the Middle Part 1, Part 2 is out now, Part 3 I'm going to release this month, and then I'm still working on Part 4. Okay, so we're going to get all those out for you guys. You need to watch this, man, because it's all disclosure, not just because they're my films, man, but I mean, I'm starting to throw them out there for free now. I keep the prices super low so you guys can watch them. You know, it costs you a bag of chips and a Coke, man. You know, well, you can't beat that with a stick. I keep them real cheap. Now, if you guys don't know what I've been doing lately on the side, other than my book and my films, I do have a channel. It's a web-based TV channel, right? So you can watch a lot of UFO documentaries, Bigfoot documentaries, things like that. So, and it's called Skylight One, right? You can follow their Skylight channel right now. This week we're doing. I don't know if you've seen this. It's called Dust Sci-Fi. They have a lot of like 30-40 minute segments of films. Right, excellent films, man. So I put them on Skylight Movie Channel. I'll put a link to it after this podcast. Go check it out on Skylight Movie, and it's free TV. All right, it's web based, so you'd have to look at it through your phone and mirror it to your TV or go to your computer. That's how I do it. I check out, and I got it full right now with program, man. So it's got 3 channels: one paranormal, one for movie, and one for UFOs. All right, so go check those out. And I put this out because it's informative, right? A lot of this is informative. Now, let's talk about some UFOs, right? So lately, we've been seeing a lot of new stuff come out on ufology and UFOs on our social media pages like this one, right? Instagram, X, whatever you have, Facebook, it all comes out, right? So this one recently popped up, right? And this was, they were taking a picture of the moon. I'm going to blow it up just so you don't see my awful face right there, okay? So they were just taking a picture of the moon. Very nice photos. Check it out, man. And if you notice, there's this red dot on the right side of the moon, and then it hovers off to the left side. Now, when they were taking this photo, they're like, well, wait a minute, I'm catching something here. And, so what I did was I used my phone like everybody else does, or you can use your computer. I enhanced that photo, that little red dot on the very top, right? And lo and behold, it had a bunch of lights on it, right? So that's what you're seeing there on the left, on the photo on the left. So I enhanced it with my cell. Check it out. I mean, it's an amazing. I try to if you clarify it too much or you put too much clarity in it, it'll pixelate, right? Which it actually did right there. But I wanted you to see that you can see like there's 5 lights or 6 lights in the very top and 2 lights on the bottom, right? Where have we seen this before? This UFO has actually been pictured in a lot of different places. Now, if you notice on the right, the picture on the right, the UFO has now moved a little closer to the left of the photo. So we know this thing is hovering. It's not an airplane. Okay. We all know that. And just by the enhancement of the photos, you can tell what it is. Now, as I talked about earlier about Mexico, right? A lot of these images and UFO photos and have been happening in Mexico a lot. And somebody uploaded this photo today, as a matter of fact. I shared it on a bunch of groups and of course on Alien Strand's Closure Project page, even on Alien Strand page on Facebook and Instagram, everywhere. I chase the shit everywhere, right? So you get the point. And I'm going to show you this photo. Check this out, man. And look at this. I mean, whatever kind of camera they use, and I'm telling you, it's not CGI because I do photography as well. And there's it's called a slow shutter speed photography, right? And what you're trying to do on these photos is you're trying to capture the Milky Way in the background, right? So while they were doing this, they captured this image of this UFO or this craft that was actually hovering over these rocks, look like pillars almost in a sense, right? Kind of looks that way. And it was actually emulating some kind of light underneath. Now, if you can see the picture on the right, it's giving some kind of light on the actual rock itself, right? And it's doing the same thing in the center picture. You get a bigger view, and on the left photo, right? So, I mean, I was able to bring this up just a little bit so you guys can see it a little bit better. And this is like slow shutter speed photography. They use it for astrophotography in order to get the. Now, what happens? What you're trying to do is you're trying to just slow your shutter speed. So, in other words, like your regular camera just goes. Right, and it's fast, right? That's good because what that does, it captures a clear image, like you see my hand looks kind of it's blurry. Okay, so when you do a fast shutter speed, it looks clear, right? But when you do a super slow shutter speed, when it's going click, and then it takes this long for it to open the shutter, and then this long to close. So it's bringing in all the light as possible, right? So when you're doing that, this is how you're getting these photos. If you're really into it, I would really look it up how to do these kind of photography. And what happens when something is moving? Now, this thing luckily was still, but if it was moving, it would have made like a line of some sort. It would have looked like, how there's photos of cars when they're going and all you see is a bunch of lines. That's what happens, right? If there's something moving. So this thing was a still object, right, that was hovering there. and they were happy to get it, and I could tell this is a really nice camera that they use. It's kind of hard to do with these cell phones now these days. I mean, maybe the newer ones now. Hey, I don't know. I don't have the new one. I'm still jacking with the 11, man. This is the 11 Pro. I still have it. It still works. Hey, why? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's how I see it. So, and I need to get with the times. Really. I need to get with the times. But on top of that, I want to show you a video that popped up here. I showed it on the last podcast, but I found it so amazing that you have to see this thing, man. Somebody recorded this clear as day, and check this out. And you can just kind of see how they're watching this thing in real time and close by. Watch. And this thing is literally flying over the houses, close by. That's some pretty cool music. Now, right there's a great shot. I stopped the footage, right? It's a great shot of that UFO in flight. Now, if you can see in the very bottom of this flight, of this UFO, very bottom, I'm going to try to blow it up a little bit without seeing my beautiful face there. So look at the very bottom. You see that little round thing? Now, these UFO crafts that look like this, majority of the times they're going to have 1 to 3 of these spherical looking objects in the bottom, and we think those are like wavelength generators that are at the very bottom, like Bob Lazar talked about, right? What they do is they kind of they push this electronic magnetic field of some sort, right, in the bottom of the ground, the earth, right, and it helps it stay above float. Now, this thing's actually floating really nice without a wobble, right? So it has a really nice balance to it. I've seen some to where they wobble, and me personally, I just think that when it does this, when it starts wobbling, that, like on a boat, I don't know if you've ever been on a boat, they have like a throttle, right? Even like on airplanes. So when you throttle back, it doesn't have enough power the stability to keep it afloat, right? The electronic magnetic fields on it, whatever they use, the element 115. I don't know how that generator works, but it works, right? So, and we think that this thing is actually not fully powered down, because I'm gonna play the video some more so you can see it keep on going. See that? Now you see him, and it goes behind the building. So as this thing is cruising behind this building, I mean, it's a great shot. It is not CGI. I actually enhanced it a little bit because it wasn't as clear as I wanted it to be. So, and I did this with my cell phone. You could, man, there's so many wonders you could do with your cell phones now these days. It's unbelievable. So, I mean, as I back off the video, you can see exactly how this thing was in flight. So smooth. It's not a drone. Come on, man. This thing, clearly, if you can see that right there, you can almost see the electronic magnetic field around it. Almost. In other words, there's a little field around the whole craft, right? If you follow your little line around it, you'll see it. And most UFOs do have that, right? As they're in flight, right? And that's what we need to understand, how these things work, right? I've been studying these things for a bit with Mr. Terry Lynch. And, he says that there are used flux tubes that are inside of this thing, like a wave basket, which keeps it afloat, right? And we know now, I don't know if you guys saw the video of Juanito Juan out of Mexico. Now, mind you, a lot of these videos are coming from Mexico. They are coming from it is a super freaking hotspot. Now, if you see the Popocatépetl, the volcano, that live volcano that's always spewing every day, right? They're catching these UFO crafts, these all over the place, all over the freaking place, right? And it's going over this volcano and going inside of it. You've seen some go in and out of it, right? Why is there a hot spot in Mexico, man? I mean, something is going on in that general area to know that why these things are there. Now, I don't know if you saw this before, but this photo right here was taken actually in Mexico again. Here we go, in Mexico again. Great hotspot, and they were just capturing the moon, and they happened to capture this UFO craft that was flying by, right? And, they enhanced the photo a little bit. They did this. I didn't. But you can pretty much tell that there is a craft because you can see the electronic magnetic field around this thing on the bottom right photo if you're looking at it, right, in the video today, right? Now, if you're listening to audio, it's just there's a UFO craft at night. People were taking a picture of the moon over the city. Bam, there you go. And then they caught this nice large craft, and it's huge. If you kind of look at the moon, I know the science behind it, but I know it's not as big as the moon. But if you look at the city below it, because the city's not very far below it, that it's a great indication of how big this thing is. So it's going to be bigger than a bus, probably bigger than a large 747 airplane. It's going to be huge, maybe bigger than a C-130. Hey, it's going to be big to show itself that far above the city, the line, right? And these photos are just getting more and more every day. If you're into ufology like I am, and a lot of our colleagues are, that these are the things that we study every day, right? And these are the things that we look for every day, as far as UFOs. Not just the UFOs, man, but what's piloting these things, right? We're always thinking about, ooh, UFO, ooh, UFO, ooh, UFO. Well, we just never think of what's driving that UFO. There's a pilot inside of there, right? And why not there be a pilot? And I think, me personally, maybe 90% out of 100, there's going to be a pilot. The spherical ones that you see that look like a sphere, those are basically probably going to be drones. Now, we have seen pictures of sometimes there's a glass on them, some kind of a window where you can actually see the small extraterrestrial that's inside, right? And some people have some really nice tools, AI tools that can almost make out what's inside of there, right? And that's it's a great thing about technology. The bad part, it might manipulate something. In other words, your technology might not be it'll get close to it, but it won't be the thing. Okay. Instead of me rambling, I'm going to show you something, right? So this photo popped up on the internet yesterday, and I threw it out there, and it's the actual photo on the right. The center one is just an AI, but the photo on the right, if you're looking at it, check it out, man. So they caught this, I don't know, man, gray. It's green because I believe they use like a night filter. So this is why you're seeing this extraterrestrial in this kind of a filter or graph. The one on the left is called the gold, right? So if you like using apps, and there's one out there called V2 Art, right? And you can actually use photos, or this actually to me came out of a video. You know why I know this? Because V2 Art is a video enhancement tool. So we know there's a video floating out there of this actual extraterrestrial that you are seeing here, because when you use the gold tool that's there on the left, if you're looking at it, that gold tool never lies. In other words, if it shows up on the gold, it's real, right? And we know this because we've been using this tool for 2 years now. A good friend of mine, Jody Gordon, she used to live in Colorado. Now she lives in Arizona. And she showed me that trick of how we can tell if it's CGI or some manipulated kind of thing, to where when we use the gold, it doesn't show up, right? But when it does show up, we know it's real. Okay. So this is a great way to figure this out, right? If you enter ufology and learning how to do analysis on a lot of these photos or videos. Okay. So, and did this happen in Mexico? I don't know. Maybe it's a possibility, but I know what photo happened in Mexico, right? And it's going to be this one. Bam, right here. You see that? So, and I use this extraterrestrial on the left and right, the same one, but it's in a different graph now. We're using the green spectrum. But I'm going to blow it up so you don't see my beautiful face there for a minute. So you see this craft and it's flying by. They were just taking a picture. They didn't even notice that this UFO craft was in the photo until after they went back and looked at it. All right. So this did happen in Mexico. And you can see the craft. It's going to be saucer shaped. blah blah blah. Here we go. It's that metallic, faded metallic color that we always see, and we're, like I said before, we're always looking at the we're always looking at the craft, never the extraterrestrial. This is why I put the photo of the extraterrestrial there to let you guys understand there is a pilot actually behind this thing, right? And these things are going in subsonic speeds that we can't even fathom, right? We can't. Our planes can't even go that fast. If we do, we pass out, right? From the inertia, right? There's going to be inertia. Like when these inertia is when you're inside of a car. Let's say you're inside of a car and you take off and you step on the gas, well, your whole body pulls back, right? That's inertia. Boom, or forward, right? So there's some kind of movement inside of the vehicle that you're in. Now, there is no inertia inside of these things because these things are still alive, right? So, how is this happening? There's something inside this craft, inside, that is actually making a bubble around this craft that we can't see. We can't see it with the naked eye, right? And what Bob Lazar said is that the element 115, the thing that makes this craft go, is in the bottom of this unit, right? And as it's turned up or turned on, it makes a field around this craft to where it bends light, right? So this is why a lot of times we can't see these crafts, because it's bending light underneath it. He goes, you can stand underneath it and you won't even see it's there because it's bending the light around it, right? In other words, it looks like a mirror, the Predator. Let's just say like the Predator movie, right? And this is why a lot of times we're not seeing these. And you can only catch them in spectrum, or you can only catch them with night vision goggles, things like that, in a different eye spectrum. Right? So there's things that we can't see, right? And I brought that picture to your attention because this is a learning platform here on Alien Strand as well. But I want you guys to see that. I want to show you one more video before I take off here. And this one, broad daylight. And this kid was actually just filming. This is a beautiful video, by the way. Check this out. And you'll see what I'm talking about. Check it out.
Holy. Oh my God. Yo, come look at this. Look at that, dude. What is... Holy. Holy. Oh my God. Yo, come look at this. Look at that, dude. What is... Holy...
Okay, so you get the logistics of this one, right? And what you don't see is when it's floating there and this thing's in a tilt, right? And as it's floating there, and it takes off in this speed that it's in a blink of an eye and pew, it's gone, right? This thing is freaking gone. And it's like, how do you you can't even see it. See that? I mean, if you took your eyes off of it just for a second, it's gone, completely gone, right? And this is how fast these things move. You know, there it is for a second. You see it's coming across the screen, and bam, right? And he zooms in, and pew! You see that? It looked like a little stretch while it was going by. Right there. So if you're looking at that, I slowed down the video, and you can see how this thing was moving in freaking top speeds, man, that we can't even think about the inertia. Think about the inertia that's inside of this thing, right? I just explained to you what that was, right? And if you didn't know what it was, you do know what it is now, right? So, and that's the great thing about, learning ufology and learning how things work and how they don't work, right? So are these things actually contacting us in different kind of ways with frequencies and how we're starting to perceive them as frequencies with the extraterrestrial contact, right? Yes, I'm a true believer in that. Dr. Stephen Greer said it himself. These things are contacting us through these frequencies, right? And they're receivable frequencies, and you're emitting these frequencies as well. So, like I put the picture there of the petroglyph there because, the natives had it right. I've been saying that for years, years and years, and the natives had it right the whole time. Even the native, before the natives, let's just say Homo sapiens or just Homo until we became Homo sapiens sapiens. Then we have Homo erectus, right? So there's a show on Netflix right now. I don't know if you guys seen it. You have to see this. You have to see this show. And what it is, it's kind of telling you about the Neanderthals, right? And there was a cave that they found of this 75,000-year-old Neanderthal that's in there, right? And the place where they found this, they found a lot of different things about what they ate. You know, just by the teeth, the enamel. They only found a small fraction of the skull, right? But they knew it was that sort of people. So now just think about this just for a second. And I don't want to take this away from anybody, but, you know, we've been talking about 3,000 years, 2,000 years of the, you know, since the pyramids and man and all that good stuff, since the recordings of history, right? So and we've been recording history through petroglyphs and the contact with extraterrestrials, especially with the Hopi Indians, right? They're the ones that came out with the star people. How, why, here it is, right? And this is how you're able to realize that you don't need to have this sophisticated technological world in order to contact, right? You can be as simple as that. You know, Neanderthals, I'm not, maybe they contacted as well, but it's not going to show that in that Netflix documentary. But it's going to show you that there were people back then that had thinking process, right? And they have the thought process of burial. They have the thought process of life. They have the thought process of everything, right? In general, right? And of something out there of a bigger energy than them. Right. And this is what you're going to get out of that documentary. I really highly suggest, if you're open-minded, check it out. It's great. It's a great documentary to see. But to me, it has a lot of connection with contact and the ETs. Right. And this is why now I think we, as human beings, have actually had a more of an awakening of some sort. Right. Let's just call it that. It's an awakening. And to where now there's more of these extraterrestrials coming around. Now, I don't know if you guys have noticed, if you're on Google Maps, right, Google Earth. So right there around the southern peninsula of the Gulf of Mexico and Mexico, there was this. if you kind of look down into the ocean on the wall, it looked like a cave with some pillars, right? And you could see that every day on your phone on Google Earth and Google Maps. Everything. You could look and zoom into it and look at it. Now you can't. They smudged it out. You can't see it no more. Hello? Is anybody out there? Hello? Yeah. Okay. So what does that tell you? What does that tell you, man? You know, there's something out there more than they want us to know, right? So, and that's right around Mexico, right? In that general area, right? So what is it that they don't want us to know, right? What do you think? These guys? Yeah, I think it's these guys, right? And you know, they just play a large part and a large role of everything in general, right? What they're seeing. To me, it's like these guys, I'm talking about the extraterrestrials, the Greys. I think they have this I don't give a crap mentality now, right? Because we're starting to see them more. Before they were kind of hidden away. We weren't seeing them so much. And I know now everybody's got a camera in their pockets now, so you can get video of everywhere, which is great. And this is how we're starting to see it more. But I mean, now it's just like, wow, you know, these things are popping out like, you know, everywhere, you know, like everywhere. Are these the signs of the times of something that's going to be a change, right? I think so, right? How to prepare people to experience something and not giving them the whole picture right away, right? So if you really think about it, what's the best way to have people adjust to the extraterrestrial existence, right? And the best way for that is to start showing them little by little, right? So here's a picture that my son drew for me a while back. Right? So why not show little pictures of, extraterrestrials? These things start popping out more and more. Why not let them pop out a little bit more? Why not let them show themselves, right? Now, I know there's people that believe in the Palladians, the Droidans, and all these other different kind of humanistic-looking creatures out there, or people of those kind of extraterrestrial. Now, those I haven't seen yet. You know which ones I have seen? These are the ones that we've been seeing, right? So, until I see more pictures or more concrete evidence of these, I know Palladians, there's some that come from, that are grays as well. So don't get me wrong, I do know that. I would really like to see more of that, the Andromedans or whatever, they're even the reptilians, man. These things pictures are starting to come out more and more now. I know AI is out there. I get it. I've seen the crap out there, and now they're making a new law to where if you are throwing AI, it's going to have that little emblem at the bottom, or it's not going to allow you to upload it to anywhere, right? That's why I don't know if I'm a content creator. So if you're going to upload any of your stuff to YouTube and ask you, is anything on here AI? We need to know, and you got to check it. If there is, right? Because this is where they're starting to come down on people, which is great, man. It's a great way to do this, right? So anyway, I blabbled enough, and I hope you guys really enjoyed this podcast today on Instagram and on X only, right? Appreciate you guys. Please share this podcast. And we are on Patreon, man. Go to our Patreon. You can join up for free. Freebie, man. And a lot of my stuff, a lot of my videos will be coming out on Patreon. Not on Facebook as much anymore. Go catch our Skylight One channel. Go look at it there. It's going to be on Facebook, but you can actually look for it on. You can actually look at it on Google it. Good, Skylight One, right? Skylight One. You'll see it pop up, and then you'll see the links to it. I'll actually throw links to it from here, right? So that way you guys don't have to look too far, right? And I appreciate you guys for watching. Just kind of looking at everything that's happening here today. Keep your eyes in the skies, right? Always keep your eyes in the skies. But if you're driving, be careful. Pull over to where it's safe to do so. Get out, or have somebody get out of the vehicle, take a photo and a video where it's safe to do so. All right. Don't do it from inside the glass, because us as analysis experts or people, man, when you start seeing bugs and smears, and then you start seeing reflections from the dash come up, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Stick your head outside. All right. Or pull over where it's safe to do so. All right. Until then, you guys have yourselves a good day. Have yourselves a good evening, and have yourselves a good night. Don't forget Alien Strand Podcast. Check us out on there.
Contact. Download my new book. Now on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Apple, and 14 other platforms. Book authored by Donald Ledesma. CE5, Frequencies of Contact.